Good evening, my non-existent viewers. This is part 5 out of the little splurge of part 5 out of 7 of the little splurge of list videos I've been making this spreading out this October with I did my favorite dinosaurs list and my Schizo rambling. I did my favorite cryptids in my Turtle 2's episode that I made, on my YouTube channel's 12th anniversary is passed, on October 7th. And I already gave my top 5 favorite cartoons and my remastered top 9 animated films of all time. So tonight and tomorrow are going to be 2 music-themed top 9s. And then I'm going to end this month with a little special list. You guys will wait and see what that is when we get there. But yeah, tonight I'm giving you guys asking you, shall I, Steve? I did a poll on my Instagram page asking like, hey, what top 9 videos should I make? And you guys mostly voted for my top 9 favorite albums of all time. So here we go. My 9 favorite albums of all time. I was originally gonna make this like a top, like an actual like ranked list, but I decided not to because personally there's so many just brilliant and amazing albums that I've heard over the years that I could not in good conscience like rank my 9 through 2 choices, like my number 9 through 2 choices. But I've been very confident my favorite album of all time is, for years. And I have to give a few honorable mentions. I have to give honorable mentions to AM by Arctic Monkeys, Pink Season from Pink Guy, Straight Outta Compton from NWA, and Inhuman Rampage from Dragon Force, and Demon Days from Gorillaz. And unfortunately, I will not be playing any of the music off of these albums in this video to avoid copyright to avoid copyright claims. So I'm just going to be putting on my headphones as I list off my 9 favorite albums. Let's get to it. We are the Savages, and you alive, the original villains in the night, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. We are the Savages, we are the Savages. Alright, kicking off my list is The Silver Scream by Ice Nine Kills. And I bop Ice Nine Kills every October, right? The same way that normies bop Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You every December, to get ready for Christmas. Yeah, Ice Nine Kills, for those of you who don't know, is like a metal band from Boston. They're very well known for making a lot of songs about like horror movies and like literature, and a lot of they recently released a song called The Laugh Track, which is about like the 1980 Batman film, and like it's very Joker themed, right? But they have 2 entire albums, The Silver Scream and the Silver Scream 2, Welcome to Horrorwood, all about horror movies. Like my favorite song from them is off the first Silver Scream album, Savages, which is about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which God knows why I'm holding a ninja sword instead of a chainsaw, but I digress. Yeah, they also have a song like the American Nightmare, which is about Nightmare on Elm Street, and Rock the Boat, which is about Jaws. They're just a staple for Halloween. They're a staple for October, and they have Spencer Charnas is such a talented vocalist. And yeah, I just can't get enough of this album every fall and every spooky season. The jungle, welcome to the jungle. Watch it bring you to your knees. Oh, I want to hear you scream. Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses, released way back in 1987. This is like the original Guns N' Roses lineup: Axl Rose / Duff McKagan, Izzy Stradlin, and Steven Adler. Like these are like the original guys from LA back in the 80s, and there's just so many iconic songs off this album. Welcome to the Jungle. You had Paradise City. You have we got Sweet Child of Mine, which is, I think it's funny how much Slash hates playing that song. The Sweet Child of Mine, just so many like iconic sounds, and just like these guys were like the poster boys for like 80s like hard rock, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle. Like the very final song on the album, Rocket Queen, is like, oh man, that song is something else. When people complain nowadays that music is like gotten too sexual, right? That song has real sex noises in it. So the music of all genres has been has been freaky for as long as, so to speak, for as long as music has been music. Just saying. But realize I just wanna say goodbye. Please understand I have to leave and carry on my own life. I don't belong here, we gotta move on, dear. Escape from this afterlife. The self-titled Avenged Sevenfold track, I actually made a video of me ranking all the Avenged Sevenfold albums. When 2 years ago, during my internship at the Utica Zoo, I drove down to New York City, and I saw Avenged Sevenfold in concert. Avenged Sevenfold has got me through so much, because I really didn't listen to metal that much until I was in college. I didn't like metal at all as a kid, but I made friends with metalheads my freshman and sophomore year at CSU, and they eased me into the genre. Avenged Sevenfold and Dragon Force and Slipknot and and Gojira and a certain other band we'll get to in a sec all got me into just made me a metalhead basically. And Avenged Sevenfold is I listened to them and Dragon Force in particular all the time while doing homework and studying, and the self-titled A7X album was the final album that the full album at least that that James the Rev Sullivan worked on. Their original drummer, may he rest in peace. He overdosed while they were recording their next album, 2010 Nightmare. But yeah, I'll admit this. When I did that ranking video for all Avenged Sevenfold albums, it was a really close call between this one or Nightmare or City of Evil or Waking the Fallen. They just have so many iconic songs. But I also went the 2007 one because it's Afterlife, that song, and Hails to the King as well, were just, those were two of the first few songs that they played in the concert, and it was just so cathartic seeing it live, because Afterlife defined my transition back to Colorado after being away for a semester when I left Colorado State University back in 2019. And yeah, there's just, again, so many, it actually just turned, 18 years old yesterday. I'm recording this video on a Monday, October 27th. It turned 18 years old this week. We have their songs Afterlife, Little Piece of Heaven, Brompton Cocktail, Gunslinger, Scream, Dear God. Just so many, classic Avenged Sevenfold songs on one track. Was gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Ta-da! Evil minds that plot destruction. Sorcerer of death's construction. But remember when I said a certain other metal band we'll get to in a sec? Yeah, Paranoid by Black Sabbath. This is more than just an album. Paranoid is a piece of historical documentation. It was for my favorite Black Sabbath album, I was kind of split between Paranoid or their debut album, Black Sabbath, which, how confusing is this? There's the band Black Sabbath, there's an album Black Sabbath, and a song Black Sabbath. But it's Paranoid in particular, it's you have War Pigs and Luke's Wall and of course Paranoid, and it's just again, just so many, these guys, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne and Geezer Butler and Bill Ward and Tommy Iommi were just, essentially the common ancestor to all heavy metal. And I can't imagine what must have been being there in person in Birmingham this summer, this past July, for Ozzy's, Back to the Beginning concert with his solo set and his, the Black Sabbath set with the original lineup getting together. I just can't believe, that, Ozzy passed away a few weeks after that. I'm still just, 2025 has been a hell of a year, and it's and it's the year that took Ozzy away from us, and it was the first time that news of a celebrity passing away had me in a state of grief. I'm not joking, but I already made a video discussing that. But yeah, I think War Pigs especially has stood the test of time, because that Black Sabbath wrote that song criticizing the Vietnam War, and it was one of those quintessential anti-war tracks, and it's honestly kind of scary how well that it's held up all these years later, in the 2020s. I just imagine I just playing that song. I remember listening to that song back in 2022 around the time that Russia invaded Ukraine, and just wanting to go to an anti-war rally, just play that song into a megaphone. Nick, little Saint Nick, it's a little Saint Nick, little Saint Nick, a little song that sounds like old Saint Nick. Sugar, we're going down swinging. I'll be your number one with a bullet. I learned a guy complex, cock it and pull it. We're going down, down, and early around. I tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Whoa, 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 I'm radioactive. Radioactive! Alright, I've decided to just like smudge all 4 of these albums into just like one segment of the video because we'll be getting to my favorite album for my all-time favorite band at the end of this video, right? But I have to like smudge, you know, when I made my sister and I made my top 5 favorite bands of all time video after she graduated from Tulane, like we did like, you know, my top 5 was my number 5 was Linkin Park. My number my number 5 was Fall Out Boy. Number 4 was Linkin Park. Number 3 was Imagine Dragons, and number 2 was Beach Boys. And I guess I will get number 1 later. But yeah, I decided like, you know, sponge my favorite albums from like my 5 through 2nd favorite bands all one segment. Like, you know, the Beach Boys Christmas album. Like I said, I bought like the Silver Scream Ice Nine Kills album in October, get ready for Halloween. Just like how I always bought the Beach Boys Christmas album every December to get ready for Christmas. Like this album is just such a holiday must every December. When my mom raised my sister and I on a very healthy diet of just like classical music and like jazz and of course classic rock and roll from like all the classics in the 60s and 70s and 80s, like Beach Boys and the Beatles and Queen and, you know, and like AC/DC and bands like that. And yeah, like, and then from Under the Cork Tree, just so many iconic Fall Out Boy songs off of this album. Like we had, of course, we got Sugar We're Going Down, but we also have like Dance Dance, and like this song, like I saw Weezer with Fall Out Boy during the Hella Mega tour back in 2021. My friend Casey. Oh, we were ecstatic when they like played Sugar We're Going Down. It was such a great time. Just like how seeing Linkin Park play In the End was, you know, their new lead singer was at Sonic Temple when my girlfriend and I saw Linkin Park and all the other bands we saw at Sonic Temple this past May. Yeah, Hybrid Theory was like, I know, like, you know, Linkin Park like started as nu metal, but they transitioned more into like an alternative sound like later in their career. But yeah, like Hybrid Theory, again, just so many iconic Linkin Park classics off of that album. And in the end, strangely enough, I put that song on my December playlist, even though it's not a Christmas song. I'm just like, you know, in the end, we're in the end of the year and it doesn't even matter. And of course, Night Visions by Imagine Dragons. I know people love to crap all over Imagine Dragons. It's just like, I'll admit Imagine Dragons' newer stuff is not as good as their older stuff. But like I still think Night Visions is a fantastic album that's been one of my favorites, you know, ever since like 8th grade. Like end of middle school generally would not have been the same without Radioactive or On Top of the World or It's Time or Tiptoe or just so many iconic songs off of Night Visions. And when my sister and I saw Imagine Dragons in concert my freshman year at CSU at the Pepsi Center in Denver, like, they played Radioactive, the 8th graders trapped inside of me was finally at peace. And now, like I said, this was not a cohesive, like, ranked list, but here it is, my favorite album of all time. This is the dawning of the rest of our lives on holiday! What a surprise to, like, anyone who's watched a lot of my other music-themed videos. Like, American Idiot by Green Day is my favorite album of all time. Like, again, just, I did my video ranking all the Green Day albums, like, from worst to best, when Saviors was released last year, so, like, I've gushed over this album, like, you know, and just Green Day in general so many times on my channel over the years. But yeah, Green Day is my favorite band of all time. I've seen them live 3 times. First time being, during their Revolution Radio tour back in 2017, my senior year at MHS. And, during the Hella Mega tour with Weezer and Fall Out Boy, and last August with Rancid and Smashing Pumpkins, when they played American Idiot and Dookie in full for the album's 20th and 30th respective anniversaries. Oh my gosh. They're one of the rare cases of a band, like, you know, obviously I haven't seen any of their bands in concert more than once, but each Green Day concert was honestly better than the last, which is just like Billy Joe Armstrong, Trey Cool, and Mike Dirnt. I swear, these guys do not age. Like, you know, they're like, just American Idiot. There's so many, like, again, this has been a reoccurring theme throughout this video, just iconic songs off of just one album. It's like, and just the themes, the concept album of the Jesus of Suburbia leaving his home life in the suburbs to start a new life in the city, and all the adventures that, you know, in this post 9/11 world that he lives in, with, you know, like censorship and, you know, the anti-war themes of songs like Holiday, and, you know, the political themes, like, you know, in the titular song American Idiot, and, like, you know, and it's just like, it's like, and Jesus of Suburbia and Homecoming both being a full 9 minutes long with multiple parts to it, and Boulevard Broken Dreams, and Waking Up When September Ends, and What's Her Name, bringing the emotional, like, high, you know, the depth, the ones that, like, you could, like, cry both sad tears and happy tears to at the same time, and just and yeah, like, I could go on and on about this album and just Green Day in general, but yeah, it's like, to my fellow Green Day fans, do you agree with my pick for American Idiot being, you know, my pick for the best Green Day album? Or, heck, even, is it your favorite album of all time as well? Let me know in the comments down below. So, there you guys have it. My 9 favorite albums of all time. Stay tuned for my next music-themed list, and that special list video at the end of this week. I just want to say I'm very thankful for all of you, and thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a great Halloween week. The week leading up to Halloween, that is. Stay beastly.